Just need to confirm. Can you guys hear me now?
Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now?
Can anyone hear me now? Hello? Okay. So, Christina, okay, I can hear you. Can other people also confirm if they can hear me, please? It's echoing. Can everyone hear me, please? Hello? Okay. So, Oedokun said you can hear, you can start properly now. Sorry for the delay, for I don't know what actually caused that. I can hear myself here. Well, I'm just wondering why people can't hear me. So you can't bringing in your question. Okay, someone said they can hear me. Sorry, I think we spent 20 minutes out of our time already. Just try to, yeah, bringing in your question now relating to. So I will be taking this session, or I will be driving this call because I taught lesson 2 myself, and that is why I'm driving this conversation with you guys. So I expect that you've completed that lesson because it was released on Wednesday, and you're expected to finish that today before this section. So I believe you already have all your questions pen down. You're also taking important notes, right? So that you can go over them again. So I'll be taking all the question now. You can start dropping your question in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so someone is asking question about 0 day. So 0 day is very, very important when it comes to when it comes to cybersecurity. So there are some things when they happen, we already know that okay, if this actually happen in an environment, then these are uh, things that you can actually use to resolve them when it comes to vulnerabilities, right? But when it comes to 0 day, 0 day are the type of vulnerabilities that doesn't have like a fix to them. So these are new exploits that are just appearing. So when I say 0 day, I mean exploits that don't have a fix when it appears. So the time this exploit comes up, they are coming up for the first time. So these are 0 day exploit. I hope that answered your question actually. Then you said, what is J card? So when I say J card, so when you are given an engagement, you are being given the permission to, so for example now you want to do a penetration testing on a company web server. You are being given the go ahead to carry out that penetration testing, right? So if you are not given the authority to carry out a penetration testing on a company web server, and they have a SIM tool that keep log of every activity that is going on there, right? So let's say you scan the company network, it will also trace back to you and see, oh, this person is actually scanning this particular ports, right? You know, I made mention about ports. So this person is actually scanning our network. This is what they are doing. Those are things that the same tool can help you keep log off. So if they track your IP address from there, they can make further investigation to determine or to know who this person is. Then you just see that they knock on your door to come and pick you up. So DSS office is not far. They can pick you up and you can go to jail for that. So what I mean by J card is you are getting yourself into the jail, right? So that is what J card actually mean. So you are doing what you are not authorized to do, right? So it can lead to you being penalized for that, right? So the next question is, I don't really understand what SSH is. Okay, so for example, now you want to transfer or you want to, I don't know if you are familiar with Amazon Web Service, that's the AWS. So you want to perform some action in your AWS account, right? So instead of doing all of this like manually, you want to run some command, you want to do some, you want to upload or deploy some code to your AWS environment now. Instead of going to your browser to access AWS environment, right? You can SSH into your AWS account with your SSH credential. So most time is always the user. So you might have something like root at then your IP address. Then you are going to authenticate with a public or private key with your private key that you have. So you will have downloaded this private key to authenticate into your SSH section already. So instead of like going to the browser, accessing your AWS account, doing all of this. So let's say you want to create an S3 bucket, for example, you can quickly do so. You can quickly open your terminal on your computer, right? Then SSH into your AWS account and create that S3 bucket straight up. So that's what S3 help you do, right? So it helps you access resources on cloud environments without interacting directly with that environment. So that is why I said most time when attacker or when the bad guys get your SSH credential, they can access your cloud environment or any environment that are very, very sensitive. Yeah. So I hope that also answered that question. Let me go to the next question. Good evening. Could you please explain subnetting all over again? So I will explain that again briefly. So the example that I made mention of in the lesson, you you have a big organization, right? You have the human resource department, you have the finance department, you have the product design department. The level of criticality in these different departments are very, very different, right? So what is in HR department or the human resource department is not what you are going to find in the finance department. When you go to the finance department, you are going to have a lot of sensitive information there, right? So something like the employee account details, their house address, the banking information of all of those employees, right? So you don't want to just have that exposed, right, on the network where you also put the product design department. So the product design department, you might have information about your different products in the organization, right? So when the product design department is being compromised, right? You don't want to allow someone who compromised the product design department to go ahead and also compromise the finance department. And that is what subnetting is helping you to achieve. So you can put the finance department on a separate network, right? And put the product design department on a separate network so that in a case where someone compromised the product design department, they don't get access to the finance department to get access to critical information. I may mention or give you an example about my own personal engagement. So when I start with scanning company environment, right? But that is not the uh, phase where you are going to start from. You are going to start searching uh, uh, this information that are publicly available for this company, right? So let's say they've published one article online. They have different information on their website. You want to start gathering information from there, and once you gather enough information from here, you can then start moving those information to the level you can start. Oh, okay, so I know that these services are open, right? You can start scanning the ports that you know are allocated to all of these different services, right? So if you are going to understand this now, you want to be sure that someone who is actually making their SSH. So let me use the SSH now in relating to subnetting now. So someone who actually gain access to an SSH session can actually gain more information from the environment they actually gain SSH from, right? So they will know that, oh, since I'm able to gain access through the SSH session, I might be able to find more information. And from there, they compromise the product design department network, right? From there, they can scan. So the finance department can be scanned through the product design department. So this real life case now, if you get to the product design department, from the product design department, you can then know other network that are not visible publicly through one device. So if you put the finance department on a separate network and you put the product design department on a separate network, it will just make it more harder for that bad guys to compromise the finance department. And that is basically what subnet is helping you to achieve in that case. So this is like a real case now, right? So you want to make sure you separate critical system from non-critical system. And when you notice that a system has been compromised, you want to quickly take action using the automation tool that I may mention about, right? The SWAT tool, right? So you want to make sure that you quickly isolate those system or devices from other network, right? And disconnect them totally so that someone who compromise the product design department does not take full control over the company network, right? So that is basically what subnetting is helping. So, and if there's issue in the organization, so you notice that there's a lot of network traffic jam, you can easily troubleshoot where the issue is. So if the issue is the finance department, you can easily troubleshoot without disrupting what is happening with the product design department. So subnetting also make it easy to quickly troubleshoot your network in your environment. Okay, so I don't know if that answer your question, but it should be right. So the next question, uh, okay, yeah, so that answer your question. Good evening. What is the function of DNS? So, and how can it be attacked? Okay, so for example, now when it comes to DNS, what is DNS? So you need to understand what DNS is at the first place, right? So DNS is domain name service, right? So what this actually do is I made mention that if you have like google.com right now and you do like a, DNS lookup, right? So DNS lookup or DNS have every information about your company domain, right? So let's say I have my company domain abc.com, right? So if there are different tools you can actually use to achieve all of this. So if you go online and say, oh, DNS dumpster, for example, if you go there, you put the domain name, you are going to see all the DNS record for that particular organization, right? From there, you can know the type of server they are using, right? You can know the type of CDN that the organization is using. So CDN is like content delivery network that the organization is using. Sometimes you might know the type of firewall that this organization is using, right? With this, you can then plan your or the attacker now can then plan the the techniques that they are going to use to bypass some of the information that they actually do. So this is part of the initial research that the bad guys always do. So it's very, very critical for organizations to make sure that they don't also leave, let's say they have some subdomains that they are not making use of, because with DNS lookup information, you can know every subdomain that an organization have outside there, right? So with this, attacker can know, oh, this organization have this subdomain. Let's say I have uh, students.abc.com, which is where we put all our learning management system solution. Or maybe I have clients.abc.com, where we have information about all our clients. That's two. Then I have another one that says internal resources.abc.com. That's for internal resources that should not be exposed. So an attacker will want to know what is on that internal.abc.com, right? So DNS is the one that reveals every information about organization, the important information about the domain for the organization. So it is very, very critical for organizations to make sure that everything that is not in use are make hidden. And most time, when you think you have, let's say for the internal resources that I made mention about now, you want to make sure that you put a firewall behind resources that you think should not be accessible from outside. So that is that for DNS, right? I hope that also answer your question. Oh, JCard and not JCard. Oh, okay. So maybe just the way I pronounce it, right? So now let's go to the next question. Yeah, Professor, welcome. I see you're just joining now. Okay, so let's Nini. So my question is about the IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, so what's your question about that? Can I see it from here? Okay, I know the IPv4 address is the commonly used one. So where is the IPv6 applicable to, and what is the use? Okay, so most time when you are making use of uh, when you are making use of IP now, you have your IP, which is your normal IP, IPv4 that everyone makes use of. You also have the IPv6, which is like equivalent of that to your IPv4. So when it comes to where you can differentiate them now, so let's say for example, now they even said for you to even get an IPv4, you have to pay. So which means people can have, so you can use your IPv6 where you can use your IPv4, right? So, but the difference is that it is more longer because that one is like six index, right? Is six index, right? So it is more difficult to like memorize compared to, oh, I have my IPv4 192.168.1.0 compared to you now trying to remember something like 0F, column 0B, all of those. So it's still the same, but just that you can use them wherever you use IPv4, right? Because when you set a when you like ping a service or something, your IPv4 is being recorded. But remember, I made mention about the OSI model where I give you the abbreviation, right? Please do not throw sausage pizza away, right? So you want to remember that. When I talk about each section of the OSI model, right? So if you are sending a traffic or if your traffic is being intercepted right now, it will store your IPv4 address. It will also store your IPv6 address. Along that, it will also record your MAC address, right? So because it is attached to the same IPv4, right? So that's basically the difference and where it actually works. Okay. Below, please can caption be added to the next lesson as it was done for the lesson one? Okay. I will speak to the team so that we can do that. Right. Okay. Please explain SOA to. Okay. So it's right. SOAR. SOA. Right. Security orchestration, automation, and response. Right. So I speak about this when I made mention about the SIM tool. So let's say you have a SIM tool set up right now, right? So when you made mention when I made mention about the same tool, right? I made mention about the SWAT tool, which is security orchestration, automation, and response, right? So if you have a simple setup, someone is trying to, so I'm trying to make sure I connect all of this conversation together so that it makes sense to you, right? So someone is scanning your environment and your SIM tool has actually picked this, right? And the person gain access. So let's go back to the product design system that was compromised. So, and someone compromised your product design environment, you get this log on your SIM environment. You can set up an automation and response tool, which is the SOAR tool, right? So SOAR, security orchestration, automation and response tool, to automatically block this particular person that is attacking or that is getting access to the product design tool. So we talk more about this in the paid program. So for those who will be joining the paid program, where we'll be doing more of projects. So we walk you through details step by step on how to set up your SIM tool, set up your automation tool, and all of those. So when you get to that level, if at all you are participating or you are going into our paid program that is project based, then you will have more visibility into how all of this actually work. But basically, it helps you to actually automate things, right? Automate responses to incidents and all of those, right? So if someone is trying to get access to your environment, you can quickly block that person and then use the automation tool again to also isolate that particular device or system that has been compromised in the environment. I hope that answers your question. Does that answer your question? Let me know if that answers your question. You can bring in more questions. Today's question and answer section. So I believe you will have gone through the lesson and then bring in all your questions for today. Okay, so for those who already asked question, please confirm if you are okay with the responses I gave, and if you have more questions, drop it down here. For those on the Pombo app, so if they've not joined, please give them a head up that we are here already, right? Give them head up that we are here already. Yeah. So if you have more questions, start dropping them. I believe you all have a question to ask. Okay, I'm trying to see the I'm trying to see the I'm trying to see the comments. Okay, okay. Yeah, so Joseph is asking about Cedar, right? So when it comes to Cedar, Cedar work with uh Cedar work with subnets, right? So when it comes to Cedar, so you have uh you have 20 employee in your environment, right? Then another person have another person have 200 employee in their environment, right? You will not use the same CEDAR notation, right? So I remember I made mention, if I can just share my screen now. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Share screen. Oh, okay. So I just want to like do a practical demonstration for you guys. Let me see if I can share my screen. Sienna, you can help me if I can share my screen. So if you go to the resources section for that particular lesson, right? You will notice that I put a tool there, right? The one I demo in the class, right? So if you have a company that have 20 employee and you have another company that have 200 employee, you can't put them on the same CEDAR notation, right? So the one that have like 200 employee, you can put them on CEDAR 24, right? Because you are going to get up to uh, you are going to get up to 256 IP when you finally set up. Let me see if I can. I need to set up. I need to share my screen so that I will show you where I'm actually talking. I believe you know that because you've gone through the lesson. So you cannot have uh, a company with 20 employees to also go and use CEDAR notation of 24. They will use something that is higher, right? So the higher the CEDAR notation, so the CEDAR notation are the slashes of so we have slash 24, slash 16, slash 25, depending on slash 32. So it started from slash 32, which gives you just one IP address, right? So you need to understand what uh, what uh, what number of IP you want to generate in the environment, right? Before you know the number of or the right CEDAR notation that you should use for that environment. I don't know if that makes sense to you, right? So someone with employee of 200 and someone with employee of 20 will not use the same CEDAR. So it is the one that help you denote, oh, this is the number of IP we want in our environment. This is how big our environment is. So that will determine the number of CEDAR you are going to use. So CEDAR helps you know the number of IP you want to have in your environment when you are creating, uh, when you are doing your networking, right? When you are setting up your network, right? So that's basically what CEDAR is. TCP/IP. Please explain TCP/IP again. Important of TCP and UDP, 256, yeah. So slash 24 is 256 IP addresses. Yeah, thank you, Oedo. Yeah. So if you are doing, so TCP, right, is transmission control protocol, right? So I'm trying to be practical, right? When you are trying to do, so we have different tools that you can use. So when you are trying to do, um, when I did, what should I put it now? When I did NS lookup, right? I ping, I ping Google, right? Was it Google or Amazon? I remember I pinged a domain, right? So when you ping Google, for example, it will tell you that, oh, this is actually asset or this is actually reachable, right? So let's say, okay, let me use this now. So I'm working on a project, right? I have two virtual machine right here. Virtual machine A, virtual machine B, right? So you will get there as you move on in the lessons, but don't be confused. So I have two systems. Let me use two systems so that people don't get confused. So I have system A, I have system B. If you are trying to put system A and B on the same network, right? Because they are on the same network, right? You are trying to put them on the same network because they are on the same network, right? And you want to make sure that system A is actually reachable on system B. What you can do is you do like a ping. So you ping so let's say system A is on IP address 192.168.1.1, right? So I'll just say .1.2 for the next one. System A is on 1.1, then system B is on 1.2. You can do like a ping from system A to system B to know if it is reachable, right? So TCP can help you say, oh, I'm trying to reach this device and I'm trying to get a response back. So that's why I said TCP is more of connection based, right? It will go, then it will get a response back, right? But when it comes to UDP, so I'm trying to answer TCP IP and then the TCP and UDP, right? But when you are trying to do a UDP, UDP might not give you a response, right? But it will say, oh, this actually went through, right? But not giving you like a response back. So for TCP now, so if I put a file on this server, right, on system A, and I want to download that system from system B, you can do a simple HTTP server, right? You can set up a simple HTTP server, maybe a Python HTTP server or something, right? You can then download that document or a file or anything or sensitive information from system A down to system B, right? Without accessing system A physically, right? So UDP will say, oh, this system is actually reachable, right? And then this system give you a response back because you can actually access whatever you wanted to access from that system. So that is what TCP is helping you to do out there. And when it comes to IP address, you are using the IP address of that system A or system B to communicate between both system or devices or network, right? So I hope that answer your question. Yeah, Amazon and Google. Yeah, thank you, Edoku. So Amazon and Google. So I was very careful not to like make use of or speak about some things out there, but that is basically what the TCP. TCP is more of connection. When you do a connection, you get a response, and that is why when I made mention of scanning a network, right? When you scan a network, it gets to the network, it gives you a two-way handshake and say, oh, I'm trying to connect to you. Can you give me a response and confirm that you are actually reachable, right? So that is why I put Cisco Packet Tracer there for you so that you can try this. I wanted to demo that, but I don't want the video to be too long, right? That is why I just put the resources there for you to actually try it out. So you say, oh, I'm trying to send a message to you. Are you reachable, system A? System A will now respond back to system B. Oh, I am reachable. That is being logged somewhere, right? In the network log, right? So one of the things you should always do is you are making sure that you are sending your network log to your same environment, right? So that when you try to notice that something is off somewhere, then you are able to quickly detect who the impersonator is, right? You can then start tracing who the person is, and then that also lead back to the jail card that we're talking about. Because if your IP address is being traced, your house can actually be traced, actually. So because that is where you are doing all of those activities from. Yeah. So, any other question? I hope I answered all your questions. I think we have 15 more minutes to round up this section, right? So, I will use the opportunity to talk about this. So, based on questions that have been asked now, I think a lot of you guys actually need to participate in our paid program because this is more project-based industry, right? You want to see how this actually work in real life. We've done a lot of almost all of these projects, and we keep doing this every day, right? So we want to make sure that you have that practical knowledge and not just the theoretical part. Like I said, this is not this is not like a mandatory stuff for anyone, right? This is basically for those who want to come into the industry fully, because most of the projects you are going to be doing in the paid program are projects that will help you when you finally come into the industry, or maybe even you've started working already, right? You want to make sure that you take some of these projects. These are tools and these are projects that you will not just find randomly outside there, right? And for the fact that we've done this, we've documented this, we are actually giving you access to them to actually replicate most of these projects and then give you more scenario to work with, right? We are in the industry, we work in the industry, and we know what is actually outside there for you, right? For the past 2 weeks, I've not been sleeping because I've been on a different engagement. This is not like to buy you into the program, but to let you know how the industry is. For the past 2 weeks, I've been on engagements that require that I stay awake from 11 p.m. to like maybe 4, 5 in the morning, right? Because I cannot just go into that environment and go and do my penetration testing there at those time, right? Then in the afternoon, you have to like start. So from 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the morning, then you go to sleep later in the afternoon, then you continue 11 p.m. in the evening again. So this is how the industry is, right? But you want to make sure that you want to get the proper knowledge of how to do things, right? So that's basically it. I'm going to read other question. Uh, how does DHCP assign? So DHCP assign IP based on availability, right? So DHCP cannot assign my own IP to someone else because it has been assigned to me. So it's dynamic IP. So it assign IP addresses dynamically, right? But it will check if the IP address is already assigned to someone device or not over the network. So this still go back to the CEDA notation to be sure that, oh, we have enough IP to go around in the network or in the organization or not, right? Can we also come back to this and the section whenever? Yeah, you can always come back to the section and watch them again, right? So you can always come back here to watch the replay of this playback, the playback of this section. You can go back to the learn management system also and take a playback of the lessons, right? And make sure you are taking your notes. That is why it's very, very important. Make sure you jot down uh, a lot of information as much as you can, right? So when can we? Okay, okay, I've answered that. When are we going to get the price for the paid program? Okay, so we don't want to make this public. We already have the price for the paid program, right? But we don't want to start with you with this, right? We already have some people for the paid program already ongoing, right? But we are just taking time before we bring you into the paid program. So if you think you want to make more inquiry about the paid program, then you can reach out directly to Tiana, right? She's going to give you more information about that. But I can tell you for a fact that what you are getting in there is actually more than how much you will be paying, right? So that's it. Our time is fast spent already, and I think we should end this section if there's no other question again. So for the next 5 minutes, if you still have question, you might want to you might want to. Oh, okay. So I should just tell them the paid program price. So for the paid program price is actually $300, right? So what is included is for the paid program, you have access to the resources that is project based, right? You are going to get projects that can get you the offer that you are looking out for, right? You are also going to get portfolio templates, the one we've used in the past, right? For a lot of people. You are going to get a CV or resume template, right? That will get you there. Then all the projects are support based, which means they are practical based. So for the free program, we've been recording the lesson. This is live training section, right? For the paid program, because you must get the value for what you pay for, right? So these are practical projects, right? Then this paid program is tailored towards the Security Plus certification. So if you are looking out to write your Sec Plus later in the future, you can also participate in that. And if you've already done that, you can participate in the paid program based on the projects that are there for you, right? So it's $300 for you, then €300 depending on wherever you're coming from. And we understand that Nigeria market should be different, so if you convert $300 to Naira, it's actually way more than that. So we are also making sure that if you are also in Nigeria, you are just paying 300, right? So don't do the conversion, just pay 300, right? Right. So that is basically for the paid program. Okay. Any other question here? Do you have any other question? Just to be sure, do we have any other question? If there's no other question, please let me know. Just comment, no other question. If this question and answer section is actually productive for you, please let me know also before we round up this section. Yes, of course. Of course, you can do uh, installment payment. Yeah, there's installment payment. So we understand all of this and we've put all of those structure in place for you. So you can understand, you can actually do installment payment. Yeah. Can we know, okay, the payment structure now. Now the payment structure is, we allow you to pay up to 2 installments, right? That's the maximum that is acceptable. But if you see the kind of uh, commitment you have in your heart, right? How committed you are to the program, and if you see the type of energy you have, we can have uh, personal plan for you, but not more than 3 times, right? So, but the standard maximum period or installment allowed is 2. But if we see the type of energy you put out there, we can allow you to pay up to 3 times. Yeah. So I hope that answer your question, Samuel. Okay, any other question before we end the section? Great, thank you. Yeah, thank you too, Sonny. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so you can always come back here with the same link. I think from the LMS also, the link that comes here directly, the links that come directly to each of the question and answer section is also on the LMS under each lesson. So the link to go back and watch the playback for all of those. So instead of going through Pombo to look for the link, you can always go to the LMS. So we want a structured way for you, right? We're also working on improvements for some of the feedback we've gotten right on the LMS. So in coming week, you expect a lot of updates and an announcement from us. Yeah. So quiz for lesson two, another lesson is coming up on Sunday. So quiz is coming up on Sunday. So get ready. Quartz lead. Also make sure you get ready, right? So we basically move the quiz section to Sunday so that the quartz lead can have more time to perform activity, right? So we don't just want to make quarterly for 3 days. We want them to have like expanded section to experiment because you don't actually know when that leadership opportunity is going to come, right? And we can actually recommend you guys, right? We've seen a lot of opportunity that we've been recommending for those in the paid program, right? So if you also like show some commitment, Joseph has been helpful, right? Joseph has been doing a lot of great things right there. So make sure that you also put in the energy, right? So when I drop this call now, I'm going to drop the link to mark your attendance, right? So that is why we are taking the attendance very, very serious, right? Because you don't just want to give people opportunity and they will not show up, right? So we want to make sure that these people we are giving opportunity, they are able to do and deliver most of these things, and that's why we are also saying, oh, do your attendance when it comes to time that you want to recommend people, you have something to like speak about those people even before they get there, right? So we want to make sure you all have that energy out there, right? So after this call, I'm going to drop, or Joseph is going to drop a link for the attendance. You have like 20 minutes from the time the attendance has been dropped, right? Or let's see, okay, can everyone just stay on the call while I drop the attendance link? I think I should just drop the attendance link now. Then immediately after this live call, I will disable the link to the attendance, right? So everyone should just stay on the call while I bring up the um, attendance list, right? The link to go fill up your attendance, right? So we want to make sure we keep track, right? Because when people in the free program are also moving to the paid program, we want to like, oh, this person has been active. So all of those calculations are things that we're going to do to then say, oh, this person is actually worth giving discount up to. I mean, giving the privilege to pay up to 3 times or not because they are committed, at least the free program. A lot of people are not taking it serious because they don't know what is actually waiting ahead, right? A lot of opportunity are coming that you are going to enjoy because you've actually participated in this. And we've already known you from here. So if we see you as cybersecurity is a very small industry, right? Someone that you know knows someone that you know outside there is a very small environment, right? So guys, just give me 2 minutes. Let me bring up the attendance link, right? All my colleagues are they're in a meeting right now. So I'll just bring up the attendance link for you guys to go fill it up immediately. Let me look for the link, please. Hello, guys. Okay, so I just dropped the attendance link now. Sorry for that. I was looking for it. Please quickly mark your attendance now because immediately after this call, that link is going to disappear. If you are ready, if you are here, make sure to uh, mark your attendance now. Okay, mark your attendance now because that link will be disabled immediately after this call. Yes, so we've taken attendance for lesson one, so you don't need to bother about that. We have the attendance for for lesson one. Just mark attendance for lesson two. Yeah. Okay, so while we're doing that, Samuel was asking, I would like to ask for the training direction 3 6 months or more. So this is 3 month program, right? So that's why I said if you want to have more information, you can request for that. But it's a 3 month long program. Yeah. Though we are still working on either we should make it 4 months or make it 3 months because the current people who are on the program now they prefer 3 months. Yeah, because this we've been able to tidy up everything. Um, so attendance. When you mark your attendance, please click done. I mean, type done so we know you are done. Then we can end the call. Please, those people on Pombo who do not join the live session, you don't need to call them again. Yeah. Okay. I see John, Don, Alima, Don, Oyedokun, Don, Joseph, Don, Nini, Don. Okay. Like I said, we are going to remove those people who are not serious, right? We want to know those who really take this program very, very serious. It is not about how many people we have, but the level of commitment that everyone is giving to the program. Yeah. Okay, Badoli done, uh, Bello done. Okay, I think going forward we'll do it this way. So it might not be towards the end because some people might think they will come towards the end. We are going to do like a mix. Sometimes we'll drop the link in between. Sometimes we can even drop it at the beginning. So when you join late, you are late already for the class. I can access the attendance. Every other person can. So check your network. I think our time has we've overused our time today. We are 12 minutes behind, or 12 minutes ahead rather. So I want everyone who is in this call to mark the attendance before I end the call. Because once I end the call, I'm taking the attendance down. So please try to access the attendance. Every other person has marked their own, please. So what you can do is, if you go to Pombo, you can actually message yourself, right? So keep your student ID in your own personal DM, right? So that when you want to use it, you can just copy from there and make use of it, right? Any other person? Any other person before I end the call? So if there's no other person, so these are announcements. I think Joseph has also sent this announcement already. Lesson 3 is already available on the LMS, right? So please uh, make sure to do that. I will check the timetable again, but the timetable is also on the LMS on the notice board side. So you can see when the next question and answer is coming up. So you want to make sure you complete that lesson before then. Do well to write down your questions so that you can ask them during the section. Then on Sunday, we are going to play the quiz again. So get ready. Uh, that's all from me for today. Thank you everyone for joining. And I hope this section has been productive for you. Thank you.